giving them more.
He's got to be looking for a place to bail. And he must live in a really nice neighborhood because these are really nice neighborhoods.
What?
Probably going to his mom's house.
What? Bro, they're free balling it. Okay. That's crazy. This commentary is out of control, okay?
Back around.
It's actually CEO. It's actually
no cars on the road.
It's actually Richard CEO.
Because you said there are none.
Where is he? Wait, is that my house? Get it? Nice neighborhood. It's actually Richard CEO
Where's
Medical.
The San Gabriel Valley PD.
What was the guy? LA crime in the morning, Trump rally. Israel kills foreign aid workers. The U.S. keeps giving them more weapons.
Right now. They're just like, okay, I know where that is. I know.
What the? I saw the rugby blast off. I'm gonna use it. And so much more, dude. I get. It's good to see that I'm not the only one who's like effing today. You know what I mean? I'm not the only live stream that's effing, baby. Let's go. Richard CEO Medical Technology Company. Yeah, that's him.
What? Climb a little higher. Oh no. Oh jeez. I don't know what we can do because where we are, I know we're not really, we shouldn't, I don't know. Jeff will climb a little bit. I'm sure.
What's happening? Is the morning, I don't get it. Is like the morning guy just kind of, is this the same dude that always does the commentary? Because he's like, the morning guy seems a little drunk. I don't know what the fuck's happening here. Why? Feels like he's phoning it in a little bit, but I like it. I like the vibes overall. He's like, yeah, this guy's probably a rich guy in his rich neighborhood. You know, it's a great car. It's a 4-door Ranger, isn't it? Anyway, here it is. Blast off. LA crime in the morning. Trump rally. Israel kills foreign aid workers as the U.S. keeps giving them more weapons and so much more. Get it now. Twitch.tv/Hasanabi. This is a rugby special. I also don't understand. There's no cops. There are literally no fucking cops following him. So who's he running away from? This is pretty funny. It basically, I feel like they've just decided. I feel like they've basically just decided that like this is a bad guy. And they're just tracking him. He's just a dude on his way to work. Yeah, he's just cruising.
Making conversation.
I'm just making conversation.
Nothing. Don't worry. I thought we weren't moving because you thought the signal was bad. Well, anybody on YouTube know this guy? Maybe you can give him a call. Tell him that nobody's chasing him.
What the fuck?
We're just kind of following him around. Bromar texted me. He's probably watching us right now, and he understands.
What is happening? Did you see Germany's soccer uniforms look like the SS logo? Yeah, I saw the 44. It looked like the SS. So they banned.
Crash into the Amazon truck.
Bro, you know.
Buddy, what are you doing?
You know this happens so goddamn. This happens so goddamn frequently that like they're literally phoning it in. Like think about that. Think about how frequently chases happen. That like the dude watching from the helicopter is just like, yeah, nobody's chasing you, big dog, go home, you know?
This isn't AI. This isn't even I. This is YouTube channel. People feeling my pain. I hope my audio is better. Love my commentary. Thank you. Yep. Now we're not just watching a car driving around recklessly. Now we're just watching a car parked in the red zone. Maybe you'll get a ticket for that. Oh, he must have heard us. All right, never mind. Here we go. Back on the go.
The guy talking is watching you.
I wanted to read you guys' comments, but apparently like always, there's always something. I don't want to miss anything either. I got to kind of.
No, this guy knows. This guy knows that we watch him, by the way. Elix told me. I think it was Elix who told me. He like literally texted me one time. I was like, we know that when you guys watch, right? Yeah. So they know. They know that like when they go.
Stolen vehicle. That's what it is. It's for real. It's a stolen vehicle. If you guys are calling me, I would venture to say don't do that. It's a stolen vehicle. Sheriff's Department was chasing it. Came out of the Lakewood area, made our way.
Like streamers are you specifically? Ilix told me that the guy is like a fan and he's like stoked when we watch, and he said that about me. But I assume that he probably knows like Kai and stuff too that watches because like he's much bigger. Yeah.
Down there, and he's calculating what he's going to do next. That's probably why he stopped there for a little bit. Either that or the same thing, he had to plug in his phone.
Everyone is a liberal, and almost everyone is a Hasanabi head.
Traffic.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a stolen vehicle and you got away. Why are you staying in the stolen vehicle? I mean, clearly, we're not doing criminal 101 right here and trying to give these guys ideas on how to do things. But you know what? Let me help my pilot out.
The cold one, Fear and was good. Good job. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, Jeff.
This is so crazy. They're just making content out of nothing at this point. Like, they're just following a dude who they suspect is in a stolen vehicle. And it's so funny because, like, cops aren't even fucking following him. It's just them following the dude.
Clever. I got to give him that. You got to give him some points for being clever. That guy's parking. This guy's making a U-turn, and then the truck should pop out. Let me keep an eye out. There it is.
Crazy went to Australia and back in a week, and it's like you never left.
See, sometimes this is the reason why I never say, Jeff, why you should be over there. I just let Jeff do what he needs to do, and then we always wind up where we need to be, unless he goes back around again, and this time he does go into the parking garage.
The Reddit comments on the post for Fear N were hilarious. Where?
That's probably what it is.
Does Fear N have a Reddit? A subreddit?
Oh man, here he goes again. Let's see. Does he go straight this time?
Yeah. At what point does this turn into just the local news gang stalking somebody? The premium app is easily in the top 3.
Stop sign. Put that one down on the list. Ran a stop sign.
Dude, he's calling out all of his like traffic violations. That's so funny. He's like, stopped in a red zone. Haven't you never heard the expression when all you have is a news copter, everything looks like a high-speed chase? That's not a Ford Ranger, it's a Nissan Frontier. How are there 0 cops? What are they doing holding a vigil for the New York cop even though they're in LA? Dude, what do you mean? This is a good thing. This is literally a good thing that cops aren't fucking chasing this guy. Are we so broken that we want cops to like chase random fucking cars? It is better that they're not chasing him. Oh, this one? What is this? Why did it get posted on that channel rather than cold ones? Because it's actually a Fear N episode. Goes to Australia on a 16-hour flight. Doesn't wait for Max to come back. Films podcast in a cold one set. That makes sense. I just think it's how weird in a film in an area that looks super similar to Cold One's office and is the exact Cold One's podcast format without Max. Because Hassan traveled to Australia specifically to do 2 podcasts with specific people. Max was being a good lad, unlike these heathens spending Easter with his family. Yeah, do they think that I didn't want to have Max on? I love Max. Max is great. I didn't. Nightmare Blunt rotation. Notice Max is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, definitely not spending Easter with his family. He's just trying to avoid Hassan. I mean, it's not too bad. The comments are not that bad. Like, I don't know why a cop is chasing him. Don't lie to me. A cop showed up. Oh, here we go.
And it is on again one more time. Another stop sign right there. Write that one down as well. I don't know their pursuit policy. It's Alhambra PD, by the way. I don't know their pursuit policy. Sometimes these smaller agencies, they can be rather aggressive. Another stop sign.
He has two fucking stars now.
These guys seem to be just kind of. I mean, they're making their presence known. Don't get it wrong. But they're kind of just there.
But he waited for the cops to chase him. Yeah, it seems like he was looking for that.
He made another turn. Good spot. Alhambra PD, coming back. Oh, he likes this little throughway. This is that same spot again, isn't it? He went. Where did he go though? Oh, he popped out of the. Oh! There he is. It's like this guy wants to spend the night in jail. That's you know, and hopefully that's where he's going to go and not to the hospital. Here he goes, coming back around, fishtailing. It's all that power in that. That little V6. Okay, keeping up this one officer getting closing the gap a little bit, but they're definitely, you know, I don't. Unless unless all of a sudden we made our way to the south, they're not going to pit this guy at 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. You know that they're going to stay back and they're going to wait till it becomes safer. But he's definitely making the move right now.
We're receiving numerous reports of a 1050 suspect northbound near the Omega Power Station. All units in the vicinity, please respond.
Yeah, see, I don't like this. I don't like this. He's picking up those speeds. He's on the wrong side of the road. He's hitting those brakes really hard. You got kids on the sidewalk. Back into another residential neighborhood. Oh gosh. And the oh gosh is because we can't see it. No, the oh gosh is you know, you get into these little tighter roads and things. Coming back around. I know people that live in Alhambra.
He's still chilling. I know people that live in Alhambra. His commentary is incredible, dude. His commentary is incredible. This is exactly like Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, down to the fucking ad breaks at the top of the hour, baby. Oh, two cops.
Not checking.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
I wonder if he put out a spike
This guy
strip.
100% was looking for it. He was looking for the smoke. He was like, I'm having a shit morning. I am trying to waste some fucking taxpayer dollars, baby. I paid for it. I want some of these motherfucking cops to chase me. It's very obvious that he was looking for this. Just like a lot of you are looking for ways to avoid the top of the hour ad break, which of course is pretty simple. It's called subscribing for $5 or for free. That's right. Or by getting gifted a sub if you are lucky. Here is the 3-minute ad break now. He played GTA. Hillary Clinton was right. The driver's a Hasanabi head. Yeah, he was like, Hassan, your content's kind of mid nowadays. Just Flume. Thank you for the 5. Get the subs. Let me spice it up for you. I paid this guy.
He likes to do this I've been here before thing.
My favorite is when the anchors start guessing what other insane things he has. Literally one chase, they kept saying he has a ghost gun. The dude never even showed a gun. Yeah, that's right. That's why they said a ghost gun, as in, like, you know, invisible, like a ghost.
Well, we're in Alhambra right now, and Alhambra PD has re-engaged this pursuit. And this vehicle right here, this Ranger, you can see it right there. Stolen vehicle. Now, this started in the Lakewood area, and it got onto the freeway. The sheriff's department was in pursuit of that vehicle. Basically got on that 710 and rode the 710 till the end. Then he got onto surface streets. Sheriff's department let it go. They said, you know what? It's a stolen vehicle. and we have other things to do, so they kind of just let it go. But that vehicle continued to drive recklessly through the Alhambra area out here in the San Gabriel. Now Alhambra PD, they got behind it, they lit it up, and then this person behind the wheel, they started driving even more recklessly, and you can see some of that right there, running a lot of red lights, a lot of sharp turns, and of course it's
an Explorer sport track,
and cutting those corners. I'm not sure what's going on right there.
Unwellbutrin, thank you for the
like
5 gifted subs.
Controlling that little Ford pickup truck.
It's a Ford Explorer, not a Ranger. Explorer made trucks.
Making these turns, he was cutting the corners tight, but now you can see it a couple times right there. He's going wide, he's cutting it too short, and then he's losing that. It's starting to slide. But it seems like finally starting to slow down once again. I'm going to get a little bit of a wider shot here in a second just to see if the law enforcement, maybe they've backed off as well just because of the situation. It is very close to a lot of other vehicles, and also safety. We always say it. Safety is the biggest concern for all law enforcement when in any type of situation.
Well, it's uncomfortable to watch because
so fucking you
neighborhoods, right?
Love you. I love you. There's 5 of me.
On spring break, depending on.
There 5 of me says I love you. Shield is not on fire. 85. Why are you guys talking to each other?
Drive recklessly.
Stop talking to each other in the chat. Share with the rest of the class.
He's like right there. That's another one. That was on the wrong side of the road. Of course, he's only going about 30 right now, but he makes these hard turns. He gets these high speeds, and he gets so close to so many of these other folks. He hasn't swapped any paint.
You can't pass notes in class.
Very, very close.
You can't pass notes in class while a high-speed pursuit is happening.
We actually saw this guy cut somebody off on a turn, on making a right turn, and that person was chasing him down for a little bit. I thought we might actually see some actual California road rage, but that driver backed off eventually as well. But this driver, very reckless, and of course, we like poking a little fun at these things, but it's not really fun, like you said, when there's so many people out on the roadway. This kind of stuff right there, wrong side of the road, and these are blind corners. It could be one of my children or a family member just driving along, and then you've got this guy coming around the wrong side of the road, and then you have a head-on collision. You just don't want to see anybody get hurt. Alhambra PD, clearly they've backed off as well, but this driver continues to drive very recklessly in their town, running another red light out there. At least there wasn't a lot of traffic.
Okay, so to be clear, you're saying they've backed off, meaning at this moment, do we have any police cruisers following this guy, or are we just observing to see what his next move is going to be?
We are just observing. It almost might be what we call a media pursuit, meaning we're following it, we're keeping an eye on it. But as far as law enforcement down there, I would venture to say that they have actually backed off. I'm doing a wider shot right now, and I know that this department doesn't have any kind of air. I'm sorry, I thought it was a scanner. So they don't have any air support. So there is no PD helicopter calling this out. There was just the guys on the ground, the guys and gals on the ground down there from the Alhambra PD, and doing what they could to get this vehicle to come to a stop. But right now, you see slower speeds and back into the residential neighborhood. But again, if it's just a stolen vehicle, why doesn't this person just pull over, get out of the car, and just walk away?
Well, let's see. It looks like he's pulling into a lot right there, right? And
yes.
Let's see.
Backing up.
Backing up.
You got somebody just kind of standing there. I don't know how hot it is, but clearly doesn't have a shirt on, and it seems to be waving this guy on, like they know each other. Whoop,
wait.
Whoop, what's going on there?
Oh, someone was trying to come in.
Yeah, somebody's trying to come in. Look at that.
Driver.
And let's just take that tree down. There you go. Thank goodness it was was it a tree? I'm not even sure, but there's a wire flopping around down there.
Why did he do that?
So making his way back out there. Say Alhambra back on the case there. So clearly they.
Bro, he just took that out for no reason.
What's going on? Maybe they're hopefully.
That's crazy. He did not, bro. He did not need to go all the way back to that. He had a wide bearing, okay? That's so fucking funny. He did not have to hit that thing at all. And he was like, nah, fuck it. He's trying to keep his stars up. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
But this stuff right here, this is where I start to get really, really tense. And, you know, high speeds, you know, it is a bigger street, clearly. It's Garfield. But you just, you just don't want to see anything happen bad. And making a wide turn, making a U-turn. And this is what I'm saying. It's like this guy.
No, he's just having fun.
He's almost taunting officers.
Yeah, no, it's very obvious that this dude is literally just having fun. I think I suspect that he's probably a very cool guy who's drunk driving.
And I hope it's going to be jail and not in a hospital.
Like, that's what I think.
You know, I know those officers are this way, so I'm making a U-turn to go get behind them.
Like, I think that's what's going on here. Like, he's got this playing. He's got this playing in the background.
You should drive drunk, you should drive drunk, you should drive. You should drunk drive, you should drunk drive, you'll be fine. You see what I'm saying? I say you should drive drunk, you should drunk drive, you'll be alright. You can drive, you'll be alright, you can make it home. Yeah, it's a crime, but it's fine if there's no one on the road. Drive better this way, cause you're more careful. Is that a dog or a child? I don't even wanna know. I just wanna go home to my family and fun. Why do we not think about the life we just don't see? I just wanna go home, I just wanna go home.
Almost like this driver is taunting these officers. Just gotta wonder what is going on in this guy's mind, gal's mind. And as far as you can see, it is just the driver. We were using the tools in Skybox to look in the window earlier on, and it appears that this driver is in that vehicle by him.
I have to say,
Studies show that alcohol consumption for operating a motor vehicle.
but still, it's dangerous because of the way he's driving, he or she is driving, and the speed in which this driver's driving. But it's
Why did I
pretty
join
wide
Hyperpop
open.
to Hyperpop and Reckless American Police Methods? I'm gonna be honest, I think the reckless guy is this guy this time. This is one of the few instances where like the cops actually weren't being reckless.
Other vehicles going on the wrong side of the road, not right there, but this is again on the.
I hate everyone questioning anything weird as AI. We're in dark times. Yeah, that's not AI. That is actually not AI at all.
Like just
I believe it is
for no reason at all. Now back
Estelle
on the wrong side
Allen,
of the road,
maybe?
that's a solid red right there, going right through that solid red, and you got a number of people just kind of
song
on the corners, and I almost wonder if they're
Yeah,
watching this somehow, because he does make his way through these neighborhoods. Like he's been making a lot of blocks right now. Maybe not so much.
Yes, they invited you to their concert. Yeah.
Block where this parking garage was, he went through there probably 4 times.
Estelle Allen, trans artist, very talented. Listen, you did not. We know. Like, it's hyperpop. Okay? There's no. You can't do hyperpop and not be a little trans. Okay? It's a hyperpop song about drunk driving. Come on. Come on.
Upper
It's a banger,
left-hand corner
but come on.
is the current video.
Shut the fuck up, Hassan. Cis
And
people
then
can do
below
hyperpop.
you
Oh,
see
can
what
they?
We saw earlier, just more reckless driving.
Can they?
The driver just doesn't care, blowing through stop
They have to be
signs,
at
red
least
lights,
trans adjacent.
cutting things close. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with, and
It's
we can
just
go back
something.
to currently what's happening, where this
Trans people either make hyperpop or the most nonsense post-tonal 1343 time music. I don't even know what that is.
He did. He never came to a complete stop, but he came.
Yeah, we're talking they them, like at least,
Just
okay?
brought it down to below.
You have to be
30 miles an hour at one point
you
on
have to be either trans adjacent or autistic at a minimum. Yes, exactly.
So I'm hearing it right now is that Alhambra PD also.
Do you like hyperpop?
They're
Yes.
Watching what we're seeing, and they are also saying this is just too dangerous for our officers.
You're right.
to
Since people
be-
can't make
to
hyperpop,
pursue
that's why
this
Camila
person
Cabello
right
is
now.
flopping.
And so they are canceling as
True.
well. So again, it's going back to this. We're just going to keep an eye on it. I'm not sure if the PD, the sheriff's department, is going to stay and keep an eye on it as well. Maybe relay the information back and forth between the between Alhambra PD and the sheriffship just to get an idea where this guy is. If it comes to a stop, maybe they'll be able to take him into custody. But again, this is a second agency that has basically said this person is too
These are the most
dangerous.
useless cops
It is
ever,
just a
Lamau.
stolen
No,
vehicle as far-
dude. It's actually perfectly valid for them to. I love that he's just stopping for pedestrians.
At least he stopped.
too.
He or she stopped.
Okay. No, cops not chasing him is a good thing. It's actually not a bad thing. Like, literally, he very clearly is looking for the smoke. We are so brain broken. I think we're either so content brained or we're so brain broken by like being in the United States of America that we literally think that it's a good thing when cops chase random fucking cars. It unironically is a bad thing, and that's why it doesn't happen in many places, because it's incredibly dangerous for everyone involved, which is why it's a good thing that the Alhambra Police Department, ironically, or rather unironically, are not chasing him. And it's pretty obvious that he wants the smoke. No, I meant because they're driving bad too. They almost hit another car before Lamau. I mean, yeah, this guy's like pretty crazy. It's a Ford Explorer Ute. I was in downtown LA last week for vacay and I literally saw 3 car chases in 5 days. God forbid men have hobbies. I mean, yeah.
They're probably our viewers right down there, and they're keeping an eye on this as well. But the reasoning, I wonder where the line is drawn, or what weighs into those decisions of public safety. And then
I saw the clip about you saying this was a female driver, and I think you're right. Wait, did I say this was a female driver?
We talk about often how these
I don't think this is a female driver.
Go to areas they're somewhat familiar with or neighborhoods they know. We don't know if that's the case because just how random it has been thus far. But it's interesting to me that now this driver keeps stopping, almost like thinking, what's my next move? Which direction should I turn? Should I go left? Do I go right? It makes me believe as though he or she is not familiar with this area.
Oh, it's the woke anchor. Your haters are just making up clips now. It's the woke anchor saying he, she. Yeah. Classic, dude. Guess what? Fox 11 captured by the woke mob. No, thank you. Don't like it. Obviously they're doing fucking pronouns. Did you hear about the school shooting in Finland? Yes, I did. I did hear about the school shooting in Finland. Listen, American culture is so fucking prominent. American culture is so powerful that I don't even know how. I didn't even know they had guns in Finland. NA culture is so powerful. We got motherfuckers acting out like our absolute worst shit now. This is a top 30 market, which means this is corporate. Didn't that dude waste like 40 kids at a summer camp? That was Norway, not Finland. Finland is the America of Scandinavia, to be honest. No, it's not. That's insane to say. Finland is goated. That's crazy that you just dropped that in there. That's definitely a Swede, okay? 100%. Only Swedish motherfuckers lie like this online when they are literally the America, okay? That's what it is. Swedish motherfuckers are the liars of that region where they're like, no. It's Finland that's the America of the Scandinavian countries. No, it's you, motherfucker. That's why you're saying it's Finland. Finland is awesome. Norway's awesome. It's the motherfucking Swedes that are always doing that. Nordics would say it's a Dane. You definitely have to apologize to that one chatter who moved their entire family to Finland because you said their schools are so good and safe. Yeah, do you guys remember that one Hasanabi head who literally fucking moved to Finland after I made a video about top 10 reasons why Finland is awesome? And then now he's a teacher, literally a teacher in Finland. Anyway, Finland has a far right government, bro. What are you saying? Yeah, but Finland is still, still pretty good. All things considered. Finland's up there in fascism, but Sweden's pretty bad. No, I'm telling you, Sweden is the America of those countries, okay? There are more Muslims in Sweden than the rest of Scandinavia. There you go. Finland, yeah, dude, it is kind of crazy. Finland joined NATO and immediately had a school shooting. Is that actually shocking? Is that a little bit of a conspiracy there? I don't know. Joins NATO, immediately has a school shooting. Something to consider. America has a far right government with a Dem in the White House. We're not as bad as America, but Sweden is probably the most fucked from Scandinavian countries. Yes. Sweden took a risk on a conservative coalition that is now extremely unpopular and will likely lose power at the next election. The government keeps flipping from left to right every time, though. Wait, someone got in the truck? Someone in the chat said, that's my truck. Wait, why are they getting faster?
Another red light right there. Another car just, backing out of a driveway.
Right.
You just don't.
Split second. This person's just blowing through these stop signs, like not even slowing down to blow through them, just going
This chase is so boring. We're debating Finland and Sweden. They show someone in the backseat, I think. They said the police heli is gone. It's just the news heli. Yeah, I'm skipping this, dude. Maybe we'll come back to this. If something else happens, but I think we are moving on from this and moving on to greener pastures. We're going to talk about the news now. He's right. Please go to politics. I'm starved. You're not. I did 8 hours of politics yesterday, okay? You're not starving. I literally, when I was in fucking Australia, I did politics for like 6 hours every day. It is insane. It is absolutely nutty that there are just such hungry little hippos in this goddamn community. Okay? Anyway, we're going to start off with Israel. We are going to start off with Israel. That's right. For those of you who don't know, Israel is a country in the Middle East. It's doing a lot of no-no things, like genocide, and more no-no things, like having an apartheid state. And when you're doing genocide in your apartheid state to millions of Palestinians that are living under occupation, turns out you sometimes triple tap some of the fucking foreign aid workers that happen to be, doors open. There it is. Sometimes you end up triple tapping some of the fucking aid workers that are trying to desperately bring in much needed food to the people that you're genociding. Okay? And that's precisely what happened yesterday. Did you just accept Israel as a nation? I did not. I'm just telling you how it is. No, I do not accept isn't real. And the things that isn't real does. But I do have to cover what isn't real is doing. Because the genocide is real. So, that's what's going on. As you guys know, Israel has been refusing humanitarian aid to come in through the regular checkpoints by land. And as a consequence of that, they tracked the wrong car? What do you mean?
All looking right now.
It's interesting. When we were on the street a moment ago, I did see another.
Okay, I'm done. The incompetence here is crazy. All right, we're doing the news. I'm not getting back to the chase. Stop. So, World Central Kitchen is an aid organization that was allowed by Isn't Real to operate inside of Gaza. They were coming in by water. They were bringing in humanitarian aid by water. Their goal, and they had a lot of foreign aid workers in this organization. It's that famous chef's organization. Okay. Jose Andres, they were bringing in food to the Palestinians that Israel was fucking murking, okay, genociding. In order for them to be able to do this, they literally told Isn't Real what their route is. Okay, make sure you find the Dola Specialis before making any conclusions. Yeah. Wait. Chatter. Okay, you're right. I am reminded of the drill tweet from last night. Hey guys, the divorce debate guy told me, I'll just read it. Thumbing through the rule book. Damn, the divorce debate streamer is right. There really is no law that says Israel can't nuke Cleveland. Yeah. Guys, I know that Israel's doing a genocide, but have you considered that I read the rule book and it's actually allowed? Jose Andres was pro-Israel after October 7. It was a huge deal back then here in Spain. Anyway, so just understanding something here is important, okay? These guys gave their route to the Israeli government. They are operating, when they were doing this convoy, they were operating at the behest of the Israeli government. But the problem is the Israeli government is like a fucking feral animal and sometimes goes hot and cold and decides, you know what? Actually, we do want to fucking kill you guys, which is precisely what they did. They literally triple tapped aid workers on a fucking predetermined route that they had offered to the aid workers. Triple tapped them. Not once. It wasn't like one strike, oopsie. It was a first strike. Then they got out of the car, the survivors, got into the second car. They striked it again and again. Okay? It is misleading to describe the World Central Kitchen killing as an airstrike singular. In actual fact, 3 vehicles were targeted, with the first and last being over 2.4 kilometers apart. The IDF decided to make 3, not 1, not 2, 3 targeted strikes. They literally were like, they were doing the same drone shit that we watched, but this time on designated aid workers. Okay? The horrifying details emerging about World Central Kitchen massacre. The convoy was struck 3 times in succession, with the drone chasing the wounded aid workers from vehicle to vehicle to make sure that they were all killed. No legit pretext and precise coordination with the IDF. After the first strike, World Central Kitchen, as far as I understand, literally informed the IDF that they had the wrong target. The IDF's early explanation regarding the killing of World Central Kitchen team is in, per security sources, speaking to Haaretz. Before we get to the putative pretext for the attack, they also disclose a harrowing detail. The drone bombed the convoy 3 times in succession. Because the team survived 1 hit and tried taking cover in another vehicle, then the survivors moved to a third and were finished off there. Deliberate, repeated targeting of a convoy, making sure no one was left alive. And this actually doesn't stack up with the alleged pretext. Now, before you say, no, Israel had the right target, I agree with what you're trying to say. Yes, they deliberately fucking killed the aid convoy people. Okay? They did. What the fuck are you going to do about it? What is anyone going to do about it? Israel gets to kill whoever the fuck they want to. That's it. And the world needs to suck it. That's it. What are you going to do? Are you going to complain? What the fuck are we going to do? The American government yesterday or over the weekend announced that they are giving $18 billion of weapons, JDAMs, precision-guided munitions, and F-15s to Israel. After Joe Biden for the past 2 months have been like, oh, Israel, cut it out. I called Netanyahu a bad word. Remember when D-Man said that the chain of command for the IDF would never sign off on killing innocent people, yet time and time again it has happened? Yes, because he's fucking moronic. He is a fucking baboon and a bloodthirsty monster. That's it. And anyone who fucking listens to that dumb shit and agrees with it is basically looking for anyone and everyone to agree with genocide. That's it. He's just a fucking racist asshole. Please stop bringing this fucking divorced dipshit's name in this chat. We're done with this. Okay, we're moving on. He already got fucking packed up by Norm Finkelstein. It's so stupid. Every fucking conversation about this, every conversation about this always revolves around like, hey, I know Israel has killed 32,000, 33,000, as far as we know, Palestinians, many of them women and children. But this instance seems like a little bit too far-fetched. I mean, do we know really? I mean, they have a lot of, they have protocols for this kind of thing. Meanwhile, Israel is literally like, we are murdering Palestinians on purpose, deliberately. We love killing them. And everyone's like, la, 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 can't hear that. Don't know what you're talking about. Certainly not a genocide. Also, even if they nuked Gaza, it would still not be a genocide. Anyone after that conversation that still is like looking desperately at Bonarelli for guidance on this issue literally is either the most delusional charlatan of all time or so fucking desperate for anyone to defend Israel's genocidal actions. Like, so fucking desperate that they don't care. That you will never be able to reason with them. The fuck thing about Netanyahu's apology stating that the killing of workers was unintentional is that he basically admitted that they are deliberately bombing aid, a point which Zionists and Zionist-adjacent supporters and propagandists repeatedly deny. Exactly. No, here's the thing. And I talk to a lot of normies. Okay, I talk to a lot of normies who are like, I love Israel. I don't get it. Like, I don't know what's going on. Who were horrified after October 7th. And we're like, oh, dude, if you defend Palestinians, you must be a terrorist. Not a lot of those dudes still have that opinion this many months in, as a matter of fact. A lot of those dudes have gone back on that opinion. Like, I'm not talking about people who are like very well read on this stuff. I'm talking about normies who literally just like kind of read the headlines, maybe have like a kind of a reactionary approach to news for the most part, as a matter of fact. People who are like, yeah, I love Israel. Like, the type of people who are like, I love Israel, I have Jewish friends. Like, that's the type of person who hasn't really put a lot of thought into it. You know what I mean? That's a person who's just like guided by feelings and reacts to shapes and colors, right? Israel has lost all of those fucking people. Okay? Israel has completely lost those people. And that's because they keep doing this shit. And they do it so much that even some of the stuff that gets filtered through the mainstream media ends up frustrating people. Okay? The Joe Rogan experience and the Moist critical viewers are like, yeah, dude, this Israel stuff is like pretty out of control. Maybe they should stop. Yeah. Do you remember back in October when there was a days-long back and forth about whether or not Israel bombed a hospital? And at this point, they've destroyed literally every single hospital in Gaza. I feel like I'm going insane. I do remember that because that became a pivotal moment in my career as a fabulist and as a person who is a serial exaggerator, as a person who is a liar. Where are those people now? They got their fucking hundreds of thousands of views off that shit. Where are those people now? Where the fuck are those people now? I was right. I was right back then, and I've been right. I was right for the past 10 fucking years. I've been covering this shit. You were new to it. So you were just like, oh yeah. He must be wrong about this. One of the killed aid workers in America. Will the U.S. respond now? Dude, are you kidding me? Israel could kill fucking Joe Biden and America wouldn't do shit. Get the fuck out of here. Willie Mack is still using clips of saying Al Ahly was IDF as a dunk on you. Yes, because he is fucking brain dead, dude. Okay? He has no dog in this fight. He has no stake. The only thing he cares about is fucking making content out of this. That's it. He does not care. There is an active genocide going on. Stop bringing up this fucking delusional moron who does not know anything. It is a straight up circle jerk of fucking losers that are constantly trying to farm drama off of an active ethnic cleansing campaign that is unfolding in front of our fucking eyes. And they openly admit that they don't know anything. They openly admit that they don't know shit. Willie Mack didn't know that I fucking actually was responding to the BBC coverage. His entire video hinges on me making up that Israel blew up the hospital, not recognizing that I was literally covering the BBC saying Israel blew up the hospital. He was shocked when we had this conversation. He was like, what? The BBC actually said that the hospital was blown up by Israel? That's how fucking stupid he is. He didn't even know that BBC fucking had to apologize. Hello? He thought I made it up on my own. Come on, dude. It's ridiculous.
It was their ordinance. We do not target hospitals. Let's be clear. Israel does not target hospitals.
Yeah, remember that? Let us be clear. Israel does not target hospitals unless there are Hamas patients. Hamas patients. Come on, guys. Anyone who fucking captured that moment and thought it was far-fetched for someone like myself to say Israel undoubtedly had struck this hospital already. So the idea that this is going to be a fucking unique circumstance, okay, a unique circumstance where there's an Islamic Jihad rocket that blew up, like ridiculous, ridiculous. They've blown up every fucking hospital. They've literally blown up every hospital. They sieged Al-Shifa again and again. Now, was I a future seer? Was I gifted with the future sight? Is that what it was? No, it's because I've covered this shit for fucking years. That's it. That's it. I don't have precog. I just know what Israel does and what Israel has done and what their capabilities are. Anyway, there's no reason to like relitigate it too much, but just remember that. Just remember how many fucking dickheads just moved on. Because for them, this is not like a real situation at all. It's just something that they're watching. It's something that they're watching from afar, and they just want like drama. Drama makes them more interested. It's like someone who doesn't appreciate sports for what it is and likes sports gambling. Okay, gambling makes it interesting to watch the sports. Drama makes it interesting to follow the actual politics. That's it. Yeah, World Central Kitchen has stopped their operation in Gaza right now, and a ship was already turned around back to Cyprus. Israel achieved their objective with the triple tap. And it's not that they just like, they killed an American, they killed an Australian, they killed a British citizen, they killed multiple British citizens, if I'm not mistaken. They killed a Polish citizen. And like, that's it. Anera, one of the organizations, one of the people that got shot at was Anera. It was an American, I believe, that worked for, or Australian that worked for Anera, one or the other. Anera is one of the organizations that I funded. Remember when we raised $1.3 million? It was Anera. It was one of the organizations. It was a Palestinian Red Crescent. It was Anera. It was a Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. And it was medical aid for Palestine. Those were the four organizations I funded. One of them was Anera. And it's a great organization. They've been working on the ground. Literally getting fucking shot at. And for the record, I hope you understand something. Israel has been murking aid workers nonstop since day one. These are just foreign aid workers that they killed in succession. That's why it's like a big deal, kind of. But it won't be a big deal. That's the other part. It's not a big deal at all. Because it's every day. It's every fucking day. It's every goddamn day. And they get away with it every goddamn fucking day. Yeah, a Canadian humanitarian worker got killed as well. It's so crazy. Is Israel worse than Russia? Dude, that is a ridiculous question, okay? Does Turkey support terrorists? Would you fight for America? Is Israel worse than Russia? Like, it's very obvious what you're doing in here, okay? Just take a fucking hour off and really reconsider your worldview. Russia is a foreign adversary, and as a foreign adversary, there's a lot they can't get away with, okay? Russia is also horrible in its occupation of Ukraine, but there is a lot that Russia cannot get away with, at least without global scrutiny. Israel has all the global scrutiny, and yet nobody does anything about it. That's the difference. I was listening to the NPR Politics podcast do a deep dive into why war crime investigations can be so complicated. Let me tell you what wasn't complicated, though. War crime investigations when Russia killed a U.S. citizen in Ukraine. That was not complicated at all. The American government acted almost instantly. Okay? Immediately launched a war crime investigation. The American Attorney General was on board. Immediately. And they should be. It makes sense. Why shouldn't they? They should protect U.S. citizens. That's the goal, right? That's the job. Well, guess what? Where the fuck is that same energy for Israel? Israel's interests are more important than the American citizens being killed. That's for sure. This is not the first time Israel's killed Americans, okay? They fucking bulldozed Rachel Corrie. They bulldozed Rachel Corrie. That was in like 2002. And they made jokes about it ever since. They never gave it up. 2003, sorry. They killed Shireen Abu Akleh, who was an American legal permanent resident. They sniped her. Have you covered Red Heifer recently? What the fuck is Red Heifer? Why do people keep asking me about this? What's happening in Israel-Palestine is not a war, and it's not a civil war. It's a genocide. Okay? It's not a civil war. It is not a war at all. It's just a genocide. It is an ethnic cleansing campaign. I disagree with your take because with all means necessary, Israel has the right to defend itself. No, it doesn't. And stop trying to bait me at fucking 1246. Israel does not have a right to defend itself as a belligerent occupier. Okay? It doesn't. You are factually incorrect. I know it's bait anyway. You're not being serious. But like, even if you were, because some people do hit that fucking line over and over again. Israel does not have a right to defend itself as a belligerent occupier under international law. There is no defensive genocide. Anyway. Red Heifer, end of the world. I don't know what the fuck is what that is, and I don't care. Because the team survived one hit and tried taking and covering another vehicle, then the survives moved to a third and were finished off there. Deliberate, repeated targeting of a convoy, making sure no one was left alive. And this actually doesn't stack up with the alleged pretext. According to sources acquainted with the details of the incident, the operation room in charge of securing the route identified an armed person on the truck and suspected this was a terrorist. By the time preparations were made for the attack, the truck arrived at the warehouse together with the 3 WKC vehicles, World Kitchen vehicles, carrying 7 volunteers. Minutes later, the 3 vehicles left the warehouse without the truck on which an armed person was allegedly sighted. The cars traveled on a route already confirmed by WKC by the IDF. The IDF had confirmed the route. They knew who the fuck these guys were. The IDF was also made aware of the timing of this particular convoy. Guys, stop fucking sending me Red Heifer shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Americans are so fucking stupid. Americans are so goddamn fucking brain dead. Literally, just like we are the most mentally disabled fucking country on the planet. Like, there is literally a genocide going, and motherfuckers are like, look at these cows, bro. Fuck. It's the end times. Look at these fucking cows. Look at these red cows. Shut the fuck up. I will eat those fucking cows. Shut up. They are connected, though? No, they're not. Oh, my God. Stop yelling. You have no idea the cultural significance this has to Israelis. Just because we don't believe it doesn't mean that they don't. Religious Israelis believe sacrificing the red heifer will bring the end of times. They're having them exported from Texas. The red heifer is actually really crazy. Please look into it. It'd be interesting for you and chat to learn. I'm going to lose my mind. Cry more, please. Ay, 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 dude. The Israeli ambassador in Poland is blaming the far right and far left for accusing them of the attack of being deliberate. Yes, brother. Because this is the Israeli ambassador in Poland. Okay? I cannot think of a dumber human being on the planet right now. Like, mathematically, that is the dumbest position you can arrive at. And that is the most Polish position you can arrive at. It's the least shocking thing that I have heard thus far. Anyway. Say one thing that you know besides social media about Israel and Palestine. You're talking so much about things you don't know anything about. Come to Israel instead of watching the news. Come to Israel. We are doing genocide. Come here. You can hang out. We will eat tabbouleh, which is Israeli food. We will eat falafel. Shut the fuck up. What do you mean, say one thing you know besides social media about Israel and Palestine? You think I learned everything about Israel and Palestine from social media, you dumb fuck? Yeah, dude. Say one thing you know about Nazi Germany besides fucking reading textbooks. Accent, oh my God, nice. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm being I'm being rude and bigoted towards Israelis. Accent, oh my God, nice. The IDF is blaming a unit on the ground deciding on their own for the WCK strikes. This person makes a good point. All their genocides that all genocides involve this sort of thing. Yeah, it's just like, oh, bureaucracy failed in this circumstance, and these guys were just a few bad apples, dude. Why are we so mad today, baby? I mean, it's just, how can you not be mad? How can you not be fucking mad, dude? Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm mad. I think you should probably be mad too. What the fuck? It isn't just like the genocide alone is obviously maddening and very frustrating, right? But then on top of that, to add insult to injury, the arrogance that you hear from dudes who want to defend Israel's genocide is so bad. It's just like, it's doubly frustrating. The fuck? If Hasanabi cries, everyone will say it's fake, so he has the yell lol. I mean, it's just like, people have said that already. Anyway, I just don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why people still, like, people aren't even doing the it's complicated anymore, which is already frustrating to begin with. It's not complicated unless you're a fucking idiot. At this point, like, saying it's complicated is just a way to try to be like, oh, I just don't want to talk about it because I want to defend Israel. I want to defend Israel's genocide. Where's that one chatter who's like, come to Israel? I want to hear what he has to say. What happened? Why did he stop? And it's always like, say something I know about Nazis. I am a Jew. Okay, were you there? I'm doing the same fucking logic. You weren't there. Exactly. We learn from books. My point is we read, we learn from books. No, dumbass, that's your argument. Oh my God. He said, were you there? You literally said, come to Israel to understand. Like, understand the genocide. Okay? And I'm reporting back to you saying that in order to know that something is a genocide, you don't have to actually deliberately see it with your own two fucking eyes. And I'm giving you the example of the Holocaust. You know, well-documented atrocity. Ridiculous. Are you a baby? Do you lack object permanence? The fuck is happening here? Was your grandparents there like my ancestors escaped from that? Were you there? Chatter, I don't think you understand. I'm not denying the Holocaust, you dumb fuck. I'm saying that what you are doing is akin to Holocaust denial. And you're using the dumbest argument of all time. And it's very difficult for you to fucking lodge that through your brain. Then again, you are defending Israel's genocidal actions on this day. So clearly, very difficult for you to understand new information. Not a lot of fucking comprehension here. If I'm so dumb, explain it to me. Israel is an apartheid state. This is not just my assessment of it. This is the assessment of legal scholars, Holocaust scholars, genocide scholars. This is the assessment of B'Tselem, an Israeli human rights organization. This is the assessment of Amnesty International. This is the assessment of Human Rights Watch. This is the assessment of the UN. Okay? That is before October 7. Israel, since October 7, is also engaging in an illegal siege on Gaza as a belligerent occupier that it declares a defensive operation. Israel, under international law, does not have a right to defend itself as a belligerent occupier. Okay? That's it. This isn't like relitigating 1948, by the way. I'm talking about today. That's what's going on right now. Those are the realities. I don't like my country, but I do know what happened from personal stories from my family. Okay, I don't care about this like, oh, I don't like my country shit, okay? If you didn't actually like your country in the same way that I criticize my country, you would be on my side. There are plenty of Israelis who are. They're in this community. I've interviewed them. There are members of the Knesset who agree with me on this matter. There are conscientious objectors to the IDF that have gone to prison that I've interviewed as well. You say you don't like your country because you don't like the aesthetics of who is doing the ethnic cleansing campaign, not the principle behind Israel conducting an ethnic cleansing campaign. Okay? That's it. I don't agree with what you're saying either, but what you're saying is just wrong. I'm sorry. You are not giving a counter argument. You're just saying I am wrong. Hassan, please just don't bother. I'm not going to fucking ban this guy. I just, maybe we can get through to him potentially. Okay. What specifically do you disagree with me on other than just going, nuh-uh? Is Israel not an apartheid state? Is the assessment of Amnesty International and many other international human rights organizations wrong? If so, why? If so, how? Try to defend the Israeli apartheid without calling every human rights organization anti-Semitic challenge impossible difficulty. A counter argument, do you want me to actually start telling you stories of what my grandparents went through? Honestly asking, and again, I don't like where I live. Brother, what the fuck are you talking about? Your grandparents? We are talking about 2024. You're giving me anecdotes about like your personal stories of those who survived the Holocaust does not give ample justification to maintain an apartheid state and also engage in an offensive genocidal campaign upon a population that did not do the Holocaust at all. Okay? As a matter of fact, many Palestinians died fighting against Nazi Germany during World War II. Thank you, Gopnik, for the raid. Hope you had a good stream, brother. I do not disagree with the anecdotes from your grandparents. This is not a counter argument. Ain't nobody in this community is denying the Holocaust. Okay? And if anyone does, we ban them. Those are fascists. Those are Nazis. It's not a Nazi fascist community. I have nothing against Palestine, and I actually do feel bad for them. Okay. You have to explain it like if a country occupies a territory, the territory is an occupied territory. If a place is occupied, it has the following rights under international law and so on. Maybe Chatter will understand step by step. No, they will not understand step by step. The only thing they will understand is the top of the hour ad break, which comes at the top of every hour. Okay, picking on rando chatters. This is not me picking on a random chatter. This is me taking every chatter seriously when they say something in this community. I don't know why you guys fucking complain about this shit when this is, you know, overall a good thing. It's so silly. Anyway, the top of the hour ad break is upon us. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, like I said, for $5 or for free. I believe that everyone has the capacity to see the light. I believe that everyone has the capacity to change their minds. This is why I do what I do. Okay? So when someone comes in and it looks like they could potentially change their opinion, then I'm going to use that as a teachable moment. Okay? Because this isn't a conversation that I'm just having with this one individual chatter. This is a conversation that I have technically with a lot of people who share this opinion. Okay? That's it. And there are plenty of you who have inadvertently taken advantage of that. Okay? You, at a certain point, probably had some opinions that were not correct, and you saw me talk to a chatter like that one, whose opinion you probably shared, and then you saw that it was illogical and wrong, and you changed your mind. You did it quietly, maybe, but there is a shit ton of people in this chat that don't have access to all the information that you have access to. That's why I fucking, I personally fucking talk about this. Especially this community, like, especially when it comes to Israel, Palestine, there's a lot of misinformation because many people trust mainstream sources and the mainstream media has always been really fucking bad on this, okay? Historically, they've just been bad on this issue because it is a State Department position that we have unconditional support for Israel. Okay? Even to this day, you will rarely ever, if at all, hear that Israel is an apartheid state. Out of any of the mainstream outlets, which one of them has openly stated that Israel is an apartheid? None. It's propaganda. It is a lie by omission. If anything, as a matter of fact, mainstream media will oftentimes go against that narrative and will create counter propaganda, counter narratives against that reality. Can I pretend democracy now is mainstream? You can't, because it's not. And it has been. Gaza may be apartheid, but Hamas is back. It's not Gaza that is like the most glaring, obvious example of apartheid. It's the West Bank, which, once again, famously, many people don't talk about at all. Gaza, as it stands now, is withstanding a genocidal ethnic cleansing campaign. West Bank is an apartheid. Gaza is, or was, an open-air prison. The West Bank still is an apartheid. Okay? What? Is democracy now unreliable? No, democracy now is some of the best consistent reporting in perpetuity. I will always stand by them. They are literally the best. Democracy Now! Has always been incredible. They're just not a mainstream news outlet. That's all I was saying. They've been at this for a very long time. They're phenomenal. They're a great source. Did this guy say anything else? P.S. I don't have anything against you, just speaking my mind, and I actually appreciate your opinions. Okay, chatter. Listen to my words, okay? The least you can do is educate yourself on this, okay? Just read the B'Tselem apartheid report. I'm giving you an Israeli human rights organization, okay? Here it is. A regime of Jewish supremacy from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. This is apartheid, okay? This will change your mind, hopefully. Okay? Perhaps it puts into words what you see and what you don't see and what you take for granted. That's it. Once you start there and you develop the foundation and you have the knowledge that it is an apartheid, you can continue thinking logically beyond it. If an apartheid is happening, if an apartheid exists, then of course people are going to resist to it. And slowly but surely, that resistance, as the apartheid and the violence it takes to maintain said apartheid gets worse and worse, the resistance is going to be worse and worse and more violent. Okay? That's it. This chatter ain't going to read shit. We are 6 months into a genocide. He's not changing his mind. I am not going to fucking leave someone and operate under the assumption that like they are just simply not interested. Okay? If I personally thought that, then I wouldn't do what I'm doing now. I wouldn't do what I'm doing every fucking day. You don't know that. Okay? You might have that approach. I don't. Okay? So just let me do my own fucking thing. And this isn't just for that chatter, like I've explained. There's 21,000 people in here. There are plenty of people who probably have that exact same approach that chatter has. If there is 1,000 people, if there are 1,000 people in this chat right now that have a similar approach to what that chatter just said, and 100 of them read this article and change their mind, or at least like start the journey of changing their fucking mind on this, then that's an overall dub for me. Okay? You always forget. So what? America is 400 plus years in being racist and people still change? People have different timelines? Yeah. I can't believe I'm like consistently having to relitigate why I shouldn't just like leave people behind and continue repeating some of the things that I say all the time. This is why I always find myself explaining the same shit over and over again. I know it might be like kind of annoying for you to hear it time and time again, especially when we're in the midst of like new information and I'm covering the news. Okay. But we're going to move back to this story of Israel wiping out an entire convoy of aid workers, foreign humanitarian aid workers, by the way. Stop fucking gatekeeping leftism. Anyway, let's continue. So the IDF was also made aware of the timing of this particular convoy. At some point, while convoy was traveling on the authorized route, the operations room ordered the drone operator to strike one of the vehicles. Some passengers were seen leaving the strucken vehicle and moving to the other two. They had time to alert superiors that they had been attacked, but seconds later were struck by a second missile. They began moving wounded to the third car, and that's when the third missile hit. All 7 volunteers were killed. Okay? That's from Haaretz's article, by the way. Before you go, Hassan, you're reading fucking, Hassan, you're reading fucking Twitter feeds or whatever. This is Dimi Ryder, okay? He is the co-founder of 972 Magazine. 972 Magazine is an Israeli magazine that has done phenomenal investigative reporting, specifically talking about Israel's AI targeting protocols, the gospel, if you remember. So this isn't some random fucking dickhead with a Twitter thread. This is a investigative reporter, an Israeli investigative reporter, okay? Israeli British investigative reporter talking about a Haaretz article. Just so you understand, I feel the need to like constantly defend myself and my sources, but it's important, I guess, because some people are fucking dickheads. Now, yeah, people think because all their favorite streamer does is tweet racist garbage, there's no good journalism there. Yeah, I mean, of course you would assume that that's how bad things are. That's all you see. So here is John Kirby. But actually, you know what? Before we get to John Kirby, let's talk about Benjamin Netanyahu's response. Okay? Like we talked about, Israel triple tapped the food aid workers who had been coordinating with the IDF on their movements. There's zero chance this wasn't intentional. Another brazen war crime. Okay? So what did Benjamin Netanyahu have to say about it? Oh, that's right. He said, my bad, shit happens. And I'm not even fucking joking when I say this. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds like this can't be real. Like no one can be this fucking callous. But yes, they are. Because why wouldn't they be this callous? Absolutely zero people can fucking rein Israel in. Yeah, and he was smirking while he said it too. Where, hold on, I want to show you the fucking video I saw. It is like pure evil, okay? Just pure, unadulterated evil. Here he is, Satan Yahoo. Here is Satan Yahoo.
אני משתחרר עכשיו מבית החולים הדסה עין כרם. הוא הפך להיות המשרד שלי ביממה האחרונה. המשכנו לפעול גם מכאן.
He's saying, unfortunately, a tragic instance of our forces unintentionally harming innocent people in the Gaza Strip. It happens in war. We'll investigate it. We're in contact with the governments, and we will do everything so that it doesn't happen again.
אני מבקש להודות לפרופסור פיקרסקי והצוות הרפואי.
Like, bro, what the fuck's happening here? Like, at least have the decency to look sad. You know what I mean? At least have the decency to look sad while you're fucking saying shit happens. Sorry, we murked a bunch of fucking foreign aid workers.
הנפלא של בית החולים הדסה עין כרם שביצע בי ניתוח בקע מוצלח. אני מבקש להודות לכם, המוני אזרחי ישראל ש...
I guess it's not for the American audience because he is spitting in Hebrew here, so that's maybe why he's got the smirk on, you know? As we have talked about before, time and time again, there are two different types of communication coming out of Israel. You have the Hebrew stuff, right? Which is like for the Israeli audience, so it has a very different vibe to it overall. And you have the English coverage. Whenever Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking in English, he has a very different tone. Okay? When he's speaking in Hebrew, is also very different. He is talking about his own health. It's crazy how so many Israelis have said he hasn't been brutal enough. It's such a sick society. The shame Israelis will feel a decade from now will be similar to that of Germany. He's smiling because first he talks about his operation and talks briefly about the incident. Yeah, he's happy his hernia surgery was successful.
שלחתם איחולי החלמה, אני מחלים, תודה לכם. לצערנו ביממה האחרונה היה מקרה טרגי של פגיעה לא מכוונת של כוחותינו באנשים חפים מפשע ברצועת עזה. זה קורה במלחמה, אנחנו בודקים את זה עד תום.
Yeah, he was put under for a little bit, and of course, nothing bad happened to him because nothing bad happens to evil people. All right, let's watch CNN coverage in this now. I've said this so many times, but literally, I'm telling you right now, okay, 21,000 plus in here, but we are still incapable of organizing. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck up, dumbass. This community is filled to the fucking brim with community organizers, people that go to fucking protest shit. What are you talking about? We've literally fundraised. What do you mean? What do you want people to do? Fucking paratroop into Gaza? Like, the fuck are you talking about? You saw, I went to the fucking Palestinian protests in Melbourne. It was like a fucking fan meetup. What are you talking about? There's a shit ton of organizers in here. You're just fucking projecting because you haven't done shit. That's so weird. Called out? Yeah, that is a call out if you are fucking absolutely brain dead. My point is, you just didn't hear any of the words that just came out of my mouth. You went, you got called out. Like I just told you, this community has fundraised to the tune of $1.3 million immediately after October 7. And not only that, but beyond that, this community is full of fucking community organizers in general that have been actively participating in the protests for Palestinian emancipation since October 7. Lol, I didn't chirp. Get off my ass. You did. You went, called out. Anyway, coming into a place where like union organizers, labor organizers, community organizers in general across the board congregate and being like, you guys aren't doing much is crazy. Okay?
World Central Kitchen is pausing its Gaza operations after 7 of its workers were killed in an airstrike, leaving even fewer options for Palestinians on the brink of famine. They had just finished unloading
Winstonian, thank you for the 5-2 gift of
at a
subs.
warehouse in central Gaza when the group says their cars were hit by an Israeli strike. Here's what the Israeli Prime Minister had to say.
Unfortunately, in the last day, there was a tragic incident where our forces unintentionally struck innocent people in the Gaza Strip. It happens in war, and we are thoroughly investigating
GG's, it happens.
We are in contact with the governments, and we'll
The
do
real
everything
Stone Ruby,
to
thank you for
prevent
the
such
5-2 gift of
occurrences in
subs.
the future.
Well, World Central Kitchen has been feeding starving residents of Gaza since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. CNN's Melissa Bell is in Jerusalem. Melissa, devastating news for World Central Kitchen aid workers. What more do we know about the strike and, importantly, also the messaging from Israel right now? What we've heard is that they were in touch with the IDF, they knew the route, but clearly something went wrong, and right now we just don't know what.
That's right. In fact, we've just been hearing from the IDF, Eleni, saying that its top general is personally going to review the information as it comes in as part of what's been described to us as the high-level probe that is being launched to try and figure out what went on. As you say, according to World Central Kitchen, this was a convoy in a deconflicted part of Gaza. It had been delivering 100 tons of aid to a warehouse. The convoy was then leaving when it was hit. And when you look at those pictures of the aftermath,
How could this have happened? I'm shocked, personally, that the country whose military practices involve shooting unarmed, white flag waving Israeli hostages because they weren't sufficiently in the moment looking, I guess, Israeli enough, even though they were speaking in Hebrew. That country ended up deliberately targeting a humanitarian aid convoy that it allowed to operate. That's crazy. Very shocking. Yeah, a convoy that was struck 3 times over 2 kilometers as people ran from one car to the next, and also informed as fast as they possibly could that this was the wrong fucking convoy that they were hitting.
of the strike, you can see on the armored car the World Central Kitchen logo clearly exposed. So that will now be the subject of an investigation by the IDF. But of course,
yeah, dude, we investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing, of course. Hey, by the way, before people fucking go like, how could they have done this? I mean, it's probably an accident. It's probably an accident. Let me explain something to you, okay? Here is a photo of one of the fucking cars. You know, one of the cars that got melted. What does that say next to that, next to the fucking impact site? Oh, that's right. It says World Central Kitchen. Unintentionals that dropped the missile 300 feet away and shrapnel hit you, not a direct hit. No, there is no unintentional. Israel is correct when they openly state that they know where every missile lands. Okay? Israel knows where every fucking missile lands. Remember, after the Great March of Return, the Israeli officials openly said, we know where every sniper rifle bullet lands. Every bullet is accounted for. And then they had to delete that tweet. Okay? Why did they have to delete that tweet? Because they were like, oh shit, it looks bad that we were just like straight up wounding children with snipers. There is no defense for Israel. There is no defense whatsoever. It's pretty fucked up for Hamas to use cars like these to cover their operations. r/World News editors, don't ever bring that fucking Nazi-infested shithole in here ever again. That subreddit is completely overtaken by Hasbara trolls. It doesn't fucking matter. Stop going there. You are never going to fight the good fight there, okay? It's like going to r/Destiny and trying to fucking trying to defend Palestinians as though they're human beings. It's not going to happen. It's just full of fucking fascists, okay? It is not an accident. It is a deliberate targeting. It's never an accident, okay? They only say it's an accident when they feel like the rest of the world is looking at it and going, what the fuck are you doing? Only then do they go, oh, it's an accident. Because it's not an accident. It's not. It's intentional. It's always intentional.
The fact that the World Central Kitchen, that has played, as you say, such a crucial role in getting aid to the hungry in Gaza, and let us bear in mind that it is 2.2 million people, according to the UN, that are at danger of hunger, and half of the population of Gaza that is now facing famine. So this was critically needed aid coming to people.
Why does this matter when they're doing more strikes to civilian Gazans every day, 10x more? Why do you think, dude? Because most people don't give a shit about Palestinians getting fucking lasered, but they do give a shit when their neighbors are getting fucking lasered. Everybody knows somebody that at least like went and fucking I don't know, does like humanitarian aid and shit. Okay? It sucks, but that is the entire principle. That is literally the entire purpose behind Doctors Without Borders. So that like they put white people in hospitals so they don't blow up the fucking hospitals. And America still does it, by the way. Kunduz, Obama did it. And Israel certainly as well keeps doing it regardless. But that's the whole fucking principle behind these organizations, is that like you put white people, you know, which have more social capital in the eyes of other white people living in the fucking Western world, so that they hopefully won't get murked by Israel. That's the whole point. And Israel does not give a shit. Israel's still like, I don't care. Fuck you.
Who desperately needed it. The World Central Kitchen has played a crucial role because even as the land crossings have remained very difficult for so much of the aid that agencies are trying to get in, they had been delivering it by sea. So ships coming in from Cyprus, delivering the aid to a jetty that has been made off the edge of northern Gaza. And what we understand, Eleni,
like you're still coping. You're still coping. You're still coping. You're still coping. You said Mercedes. Come on, dude. Did you read the fucking B'Tselem article? Don't come back in here until you do a little bit of reading. Okay? You said Mercedes. Hamas doesn't hide in cakes. They build bases under hospitals because everyone loves killing people in hospitals, right? Yes, dude. I'm sorry. Israel does love killing people in hospitals. Straight up. The fuck? Like, after the 11th hospital siege, you got to go, all right, maybe they like doing this. You know what I mean? Also, you're saying they built a base under a hospital. Israel's own fucking version of events contradicts what you're saying. They said that Israel's original reason for sieging the Al-Shifa hospital was because there was a massive command and control center of Hamas underneath the hospital. And then they literally went in, found that there was like empty fucking tunnels, barely tunnels, no base to be found. And they openly yesterday said, yeah, we were wrong about the hospital tunnels. It turns out it's not as important. They said that yesterday. You're still operating on like fucking 4 months ago Hasbara shit. That's crazy. And then you're like, oh, just so you know, Israel sends Gaza money for years, knowing the citizens of Gaza get none of it because Hamas take it all. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? The Mercedes thing is a referencing a common talking point in Gaza. They had a Mercedes dealership. It's just wild. They have a Mercedes dealership so we can kill them all. Great. I hope you recognize that what you're saying is like akin to the same kind of Holocaust denial or the same kind of fascist denial that Nazi Germany engaged in when they talked about the ghettos that they put Jews into, where they would be like, well, there's fucking at these camps. You guys think that these are like really bad. They're terrifying. Well, we brought the Red Cross in and showed them how sick the pools were. That's what they did. They did that shit. And many people around the world looked at it and were like, yeah, I don't believe that these white guys are doing wrong. Talking a big game for a dude who just refused to read one article that I sent you.
Is that aid that had just been delivered to the warehouse was indeed aid that had just been delivered to Gaza by maritime route. So the fact that World Central Kitchen is pausing its operations, really a devastating blow to the overall humanitarian picture in the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, I mean, it's really devastating to see the images and the aftermath of this strike. Melissa, I also want to understand in terms of where to from here. The IDF says they're going to be embarking on an investigation at the highest level. You've got the US voicing their concern. The Australian Prime Minister also saying that there needs to be accountability. I guess everyone here needs to find out exactly what happened. In these sort of matters, how quickly will we hear from the IDF in terms of understanding why the strike happened on something that was clearly marked as aid workers?
It's so funny. They're like, how could this have happened? Why could this have happened? I mean, I guess it's just like journalism speak. You know what I mean? Like they're doing the classic like, we're all confused out at how this could have happened. Like, we're all so confused by it. Like, how could this have happened, really? It's like, dude, come on. You're at CNN. Like, I know for a fact, I know producers that work at CNN and have worked at CNN. Pretty much everybody fucking behind closed doors knows that Israeli officials are the least reliable orators on issues that pertain to Israel. Everybody knows they're fucking lying. Everyone knows what the fuck is going on. You see the news reports. You cover it. How many times do you have to go, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. That's crazy.
I suspect that the answers are going to have to come pretty quickly, Eleni, because as you suggest, it was the diverse background of these workers. There was an American-Canadian citizen, a British citizen, a Polish citizen, an Australian citizen, a Palestinian as well. And you've heard outrage expressed from all of their home countries, including the White House, which has spoken of its sorrow and concern about what might have gone on. So these countries are asking for urgent questions, as are the UN agencies that have so desperately been trying to get aid in and raise alarm bells about what's going on inside the Gaza Strip. We've been hearing, Eleni, from the head...
No uproar when Palestinians go through this 10,000 times a month. Chatters, you're making the correct point, but it's ridiculous to make that point right now, okay? Use a moment like this to get other people on board. Stop being fucking stupid, because ultimately, if more people are aware of what the fuck's going on, every single person that you bring on to your cause, okay, means that there are now more people protesting against Israel as it kills. Senin ananı sikeyim FETÖ'cü orospu çocuğu Hasan. Ölçtüm kafasıyla 20 santim.
Head of the UN's agency that deals with relief in the occupied territories, pointing out that this is far from an isolated incident. It is 196 aid workers, he says, that have been killed so far since the war began across the occupied territories. And that is a reminder of how very dangerous this work is at a time when it is increasingly desperately needed. Of course, we've been hearing repeatedly from the IDF, from the Israeli side, Eleni, of their attempts to increase the amount of aid getting in, to work with the aid agencies as they try to bring relief. But in terms of what's happening on the ground...
The previous chatter gave their counter, the Holocaust. Wait, really?
We continue to hear from the UN agencies desperate pleas for more to get in. And in this particular case, what appears to be a failure on the IDF side to work with these humanitarian aid workers. So I believe that we will have to be getting answers fairly quickly from them, given the amount of outrage.
We were nearly completely annihilated. I don't know what else can I say. 6 million plus. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that is an insane argument, dude. Oh, sorry. We got genocided, so now we can get to do a little bit of genocide as a treat? Like, that's your argument? You're not even fucking doing... You're not even genociding the Germans, by the way. You're genociding other people that had nothing to do with the Holocaust. If anything, many of them went and fought against the Germans during the Holocaust. Like, what are you talking about? Does he think you deny the Holocaust? No, I don't think he thinks I deny the Holocaust. Because if he thought that, he would be saying that over and over again. I think he is just, you know, doing the classic fucking brainwashing that happened to him and just relitigating it. The Holocaust is very important to the inception of the Israeli state. It is like, this is something that I've described time and time again. The intergenerational trauma of pogroms that the Jewish people withstood, that they survived, plays a formative role in developing a nation-state myth for Israel being a powerful country, being a country that says never again. When many people look at that concept of never again, they think, oh yeah, we should never have another genocide ever again. Israelis look at never again as, never again, we are now militant. We will always go above and beyond when we feel like we are even remotely threatened. Okay? No, I think he talks about Israel's right to exist. Israel has no right to exist as an apartheid state. End of question. Israel has no right to exist as a genocidal apartheid state. What the fuck are we talking about? Yeah, deadly airstrike show system to protect aid workers and crisis agencies say. I wonder where they came from. I wonder what is like the greatest fear. It's not the point. The point is it's right to fight an organization that seeks to annihilate it. What do you mean? Who is the organization that seeks to annihilate Israel? Are you talking about Hamas? Is that what you're saying right now? Like you're making the Hamas are actually Nazis point? Really? Palestinian militancy is perfectly valid and understandable. Israel is an apartheid state. Israel is a genocidal apartheid state. Of course, human beings are going to fight back against that. If you can understand why Israel wants to be so fucking monstrously brutal against those it has declared its enemies, then you should be able to understand that there are human beings on the other side of that as well. And they've been getting fucking destroyed. Yeah, there's no moral calculus. I mean, killing 13,000 innocent isn't freedom fighting? Okay, bitch. What about 30,000 innocent civilians? Suck my fucking dick. First of all, not every single person that was killed is an innocent civilian, okay? The majority were, and that is a tragedy, an act of terror. That much is certain, something I've openly and readily mentioned time and time again. Except, even on that front, and this is the reason why I always say Hamas is the lesser evil in a comparison between Hamas and Israel. Israel has killed a shit ton more in totality, and Israel has killed more civilians. Israel has killed more children in comparison to enemy combatants. Israel has killed more civilians in comparison to enemy combatants than Hamas. So shut the fuck up. Israel has killed more Israeli hostages than Hamas has killed Israeli hostages. October 7 did not materialize out of thin air because of like anti-Jewish sentiment at the heart of Arabs, okay? Ridiculous fucking propaganda that you've been force-fed seemingly and are very interested in believing. I'm not saying Israel's more moral, so what are you saying? What are you saying then? Are you admitting that Israel is less moral than Hamas? Because that is the truth. That October 7 isn't an act of fighting against oppression? You're not saying anything, dumb fuck. Nobody wants October 7 to happen. Okay? People don't do October 7 because they think it's fun. Okay? They do it because they're desperate. They do it because they want to make the occupation costly. You need to understand that even if you don't agree with the tactics, or even if you don't agree with what these people have done or what these people are doing, you have to still trace the logic. And many people don't want to do that, because when you do trace the logic, you start recognizing that there is a thorough line there. There is some kind of justification for it. Okay? The occupation sets the standard for violence. Okay? There's a reason why October 7 is uniquely violent for Israel. A unique price that the Israeli government paid for maintaining an occupation. The reason why it didn't happen before is because that violence in the maintenance of the apartheid has escalated throughout the years, made conditions worse and worse. And if you keep pushing people into a fucking corner, inevitably they are going to fight back. So if you don't want any kind of violent retaliation, if you don't want Hamas to exist, for example, you have to not try to eliminate Hamas, which is just an idea. You can kill a people. You can't kill their yearning for freedom. Okay? Because there will be a Hamas too. Hamas itself is a direct evolution of Palestinian resistance. If you want Hamas to no longer exist, you have to eliminate the concept. You have to eliminate the reasons for why it exists. That also isn't true. I'll come clear. I'm an Israeli. I'm strongly against the occupation. I also know a lot of Arabs that think the same about Hamas. What is not true? What did I just say that is not true? That Hamas is the lesser evil? Oh, that is objectively true. Looking at the atrocities. What do you mean? Are you saying that Israel's own fucking kill counts are incorrect? Is that what you're saying? I don't get it. When I say Hamas is the lesser evil, I'm talking about October 7 versus what has happened since October 7. Israeli actions are infinitely more brutal upon the Palestinian population and infinitely more cruel than what Hamas did on October 7. That's it. Israel has killed a shit ton more children in totality, but also per capita in comparison to enemy combatants than Hamas has on October 7. This is why I say Hamas is the lesser evil. They might not be the best at governing, you know what I mean? They certainly aren't. So how? How do you, how do you make that argument then? Like, how do you say that when, yes, Hamas and other Palestinian resistance groups, Palestinian militant resistance groups, took hostages, 250 of them. Israel has killed more of those hostages than Hamas has. Yes, Hamas took them as hostages. Israel killed them. Like, there is no metric. There is literally zero metric that justifies the counter to what I'm saying, that relitigates the actions since October 7 and makes Israel look better in comparison. There's just nothing
that's been expressed. We've been hearing from also the head of the UN's relief agency across the world speaking.
Volodymyr Zelensky, IDF is far worse than Hamas, but Hamas still sucks, and October 7 is a product of occupation and blockade. It's still wrong to slaughter families. I think we both agree on that, but I'm saying this because some chatters seem to think one or the other. Yeah, no, these are things that every single thing that you just said, I have mentioned time and time again. Those are my positions. Of course, I don't think that it's valid to fucking kill. I don't think it's valid to kill civilians. Like, it's just, my anger towards Israel is not like unfounded or guided by some like secret anti-Semitism that I have or anything. It's because they kill fucking civilians and they make their lives brutal when they're not killing civilians. There was chatter saying October 7 was good in the chat a few minutes ago. Yes, dude. Of course there are. There are people who are horny on every aspect of this conversation. Think about how many fucking chatters that we haven't banned so far that have justified Israel's actions. There are still chatters in here that are justifying Israel's actions right now.
Speaking of these workers as heroes who were bringing aid to starving people. And I think the pressure on Israel is now ratcheted up another notch to try and give answers, but also to try and get more aid in safely, Eleni.
I want to ask you about the news out of Gaza.
Yeah, I don't want to show the Israeli snuff posts because there's obviously like literally dead humanitarian aid workers that they're posting in the Telegram groups, like photos of dead humanitarian aid workers with their passports, calling them terrorists in the Israeli snuff footage shit. Say good morning to the whore Polish guy too, who will now be a senior. Here, I'll show you this. I'm hiding at least some of it here. I'm going to try to. Here. That is a photo of a dead Polish aid worker with their passport, with the title, Dead Terrorists from Another Angle, up here in their snuff footage telegram, the Israeli snuff footage telegram. Say good morning to the whore Polish guy too, who will now be a senior partner of his ancestors, the soldiers of Adolf Hitler, deep within the toasters and the tabuns in hell. Rumor has it that after his death, the name of the Polish Nazi was changed to Robert Unkosher Mietdowski. That's one. Here's another one. Hold on. There's another dead aid worker. Our unkosher meat night announces with sorrow, ha 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 ha, yeah right, sorrow, the death of head chef of the omelet bread restaurant in Jabalia, which, as we reported, was opened only a few days ago by Motz Zafa, Piano Teeth, and his partner Abu Ismail. No, they're not typing it in English. It's in Hebrew, but it's Google translated by I Really Hate You, who is I Really Hate You is the Israeli anti-Zionist who tracks a lot of this stuff. BM. Those close to Mustafa told the channel system that the restaurant will not be active soon and that the final closing option is being considered with the utmost seriousness. We will bring Mustafa's official response here when it is received. I tried to get him on the broadcast. He said he's worried. He doesn't want to. This is the Australian person, the Australian woman. She's also dead, by the way. I can't show you the photos because they're fucking just straight up dead. This Australian whore will probably no longer get to jump with the kangaroos at Sydney's amusement park. These people are deeply unwell, okay? They're insane. They are fucking fascists. That's it. That's it. Now, not every Israeli is like this, obviously, but this shows deep mental rot. This Telegram group was so successful in morale building amongst Israelis with 170,000 active users that the Israeli government made their own version of it, operated by the IDF, by the way. Just remember that. Of course, not disagreeing with you, but what do you call a fascist? What do you mean? What that is pure fascism. What I just described to you is pure fascism. A sense of ethnic and religious superiority over another group that you have dominated and their allies. The definition of fascism is a ethno-nationalist movement that seeks out exclusionary practices on those who they have declared ethnically or religiously or racially inferior to them. It's ultranationalist exclusion. That is fascism. Okay? That is precisely what Zionists do. Good, thanks, man. Love you. Okay. Yes. The creation of a need to exterminate or cleanse or forcibly relocate. The official definition is palingenetic ultranationalism. Anyway. Not gonna lie, I would have never believed this massacre campaign would still be going on exactly 100 days later. Volibear, we just looked at polls from your country. I'm afraid to report where we saw that the demographic breakdown, Israeli Jews versus Palestinian citizens of Israel, where the support for, I guess, like Palestinian lives in Israel's offensive campaign has only gone down by 3% since October. Since October 7th. It's only 80% of Israeli Jews that don't think that they should care at all about Palestinian lives. It was 83%, now it's 80%. It's just, guys, it just like, if you pull yourself out of this for a second, you will recognize that this is exactly at the heart of, it's at the heart of the problem is fascism. Okay. This is why I always say it robs you of your soul. It rots you. Okay. You cannot maintain an apartheid without constant, steady supervision and maintenance and propaganda, just cycling the propaganda over and over and over again. And that propaganda ends up inevitably eating away at your fucking soul. You do not see your enemies as human beings. And in your interest of dehumanizing the Palestinians who you dominate and justifying that domination, you end up becoming less human yourself. That's it. The more you dehumanize others, the less human you become. Whoa. What was that? Kaya, place. Okay. Go drink your water. It's okay. Oh, little baby. Chad, is Anna Soros funded? No, man. I'm only funded by my community at the top of the hour when I serve you a 3-minute ad break. That is what funds me. Sure, maybe George Soros is also gifting subs in the chat. Sure, maybe the Democratic Party is also gifting subs in the chat at the top of the hour. But that's how I fund myself. Okay? That's how it works. At the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Or if you're lucky, maybe George Soros will gift you a sub. Not Zem Pro, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Here's the 3-minute ad break. Now, King Henry with the 20 tier 1 gifted subs, more like King Soros. My ex's Zionism is what pushes us apart romantically, and even then, as friends after Israel's last campaign a few years ago, but I just found out she moved back to Israel after that and has now cut the rest of our friends out of her life entirely because Westerners lack empathy. It makes me so sad. That's the other thing. Right now, Israel is suffering, okay? And I know that suffering is nothing in comparison to the suffering that the Israeli government is putting on top of the Palestinian population that it's ethnically cleansing and forcibly displacing from their ancestral homes time and time again, as the Nakba has never really stopped. However, Israelis are also suffering. They feel like they are alone in the world, that every single person is anti-Semitic and every single person just simply doesn't get it. Okay? They do. They think that they are so alone. They think that they're alone in this world, which is ironic to say because, like, obviously Israel would not exist without Western support. But that is something to understand. A lot, like, there are so many people who just genuinely, so many people in Israel who genuinely think like, oh no, we are totally right. Our cause is righteous. Our cause is just. We are defending ourselves. The Holocaust happened and Hamas wants to do the Holocaust again, which is like, from the outside looking in, that's a laughable notion, right? Like Hamas is going to do a Holocaust too. Like, get the fuck out of here. Let's victimize ourselves further. Dude, this is not about like, no. Guys, you have to understand, I'm explaining this within the framework of like fascist propaganda, okay? Inevitably, people believe the fascist propaganda. That's it. It's just a steady brainwashing campaign. That's why I absolutely I will always ride for Israeli socialists, Israeli communists, Israeli anti-Zionists, okay? Because let me tell you something. You do not know what it's like to be in that situation and be able to fucking work against that steady brainwashing operation. I know we joke and we say all 7 of them, but it's crazy, okay? You're self-isolating from all of your friends and family members when you have this approach, when you have this opinion. Like it's literally like we live in the United States of America, okay? We are looking at the situation from the outside. We have not been fucking permanently brainwashed into thinking that like Holocaust 2 is around the corner by Hamas militants. It's not baked into our national mythos in the same way. Ours is a culture built on domination, slavery, white supremacy, but it's a domination-focused culture. American settlers did not have that same like valid reasons for being afraid of being genocided. That's why people laugh off when someone says white genocide. But obviously, when someone talks about anti-Jewish genocide, well, that's no laughing matter because it historically has happened time and time again. It's important to understand because there is validity to the fear, at least historically speaking. This does not justify Israel's actions, of course, make no mistake. But if you want to truly understand where Israelis are coming from, and you should, for the record, you should understand where Israelis are coming from, especially because if you want to actively change people's minds, it's important to understand the rational, even if the conclusion is irrational, even if the actions are unjustifiable, there is still a logical through line there. And if you want to follow that, as I have, you have to understand that, yes, the Holocaust is very important to this conversation. Pogroms are very important to this conversation. Genuine question. If you know this to be true, that these people are indoctrinated in Zionist thinking, why do you expect those people to do 180 in a single conversation? This community is angry at those Israelis because a 5-minute conversation didn't make them turn their whole life belief. They need time. Yeah, I agree. I'm not angry. What do you mean? Hassan, I'm a Palestinian writing for the West Bank. I understand some Hebrew, and if you watch Israeli media, they're brainwashed by the media, and they don't even know nothing except the Israeli narrative of the war. Plus, most of the population is thinking the IDF isn't using enough force in Gaza. Some are literally calling for dropping nukes on Gaza. I'm talking about ordinary people. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's a part of it. It is a cycle that demands reinforcement, and that's what the media does. I'm an Israeli, and I literally had to explain to my ethics teacher why Palestinian lives are not inferior. Anyway, so, but does the Holocaust justify Israel being built on top of somebody else's land? No, of course not. No, I would never agree to that, and I don't agree to that. Well, I didn't expect you to describe it so well. Not only the Holocaust and pogroms, but across all history, that is the ancient that is injected to us since birth. Yes, a lot of Israelis that come into this chat think I'm just some fucking Muslim dude who hates Jews and is anti-Semitic, and that's why I'm a secret anti-Semite that fucking wants Israel to fail or some shit. Not realizing that, no, there is a lot more nuance that I'm privy to. And it's good. This is how you, this is important. It's important to understand. What's the most interesting thing I've found with the polling is that the don't knows have massively dropped in the UK anyway, showing that people are getting more informed, are usually falling on the side of Palestine. Yeah, oh no, absolutely. Absolutely. That is something that the Israeli society does not understand, and that is something that liberal Zionists that I've been following since October 7 have been very scared about. They were 100% right. If you want to maintain the apartheid, you have to fucking move towards liberal Zionism. I don't want to maintain the apartheid, of course, but I'm just saying that like a lot of Israelis don't recognize that. They think like liberal Zionism is in the past. October 7 changed everything. We have to just fucking cleanse everyone. We have to cleanse all the Palestinians. We have to just keep killing them because they're always going to do Hamas no matter what. And Hamas is always going to do Holocaust #2 no matter what. Okay? And it's so, like they just don't get it. They feel isolated. They feel left out. They feel like the Western world does not understand how to deal with these Arab dogs. They only understand force. And they're constantly getting fed fascist propaganda that dehumanizes the Arabs, that constantly is like heightening, glorifying the IDF as like brave warriors defending Israel. That isolation is part of the reason why they just don't see it. I don't know. I don't know where it goes for them. Like that's actually very interesting to think about. Like they don't get it. They think that they don't see this, right? They never see this shit. Not a normal war. Doctors say children have been targeted by Israeli snipers in Gaza. So, what? This guy is like literally, first he says Zionist arrogance is something that needs to be studied. Palestine will be wiped out. It is written, sadly. Trans people are oppressed. Oh no. That's nice, man. Anyway, here's a relative of an Israeli hostage that says Israel threatens families to go along with the government line or they will move their family member lower on the list of exchanges and negotiations. Here's Christine Amanpour. having a conversation with a family member of an Israeli hostage. Hey, Kaya, move. Move, baby.
You told us before
I gotta
we
pee.
started the interview that some hostage families are hesitant to actually go out and protest. Why is that?
There is a very strong notion of please don't make too much noise, otherwise your family member, your hostage, could be moved to a lower place once a list will be composed. There's a lot of pressure coming from the cabinet ministers stating these thoughts. Okay, be quiet, play along. Come with us to this delegations and meet with the UN and put pressure on outside players, but don't say anything to contradict the official governmental line. And the Israeli public is being pumped with together we will win, and we're not winning at all. So
Well,
this charade should stop. We need some international intervention, because the way things are going in Israel now, we're jumping straight head down to the abyss.
and it is really horrible to hear you describe that, and we obviously wish you all the best. Zahiro Shahamor, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for hearing my voice.
In response to that interview, a statement from the Israeli government reads in part, destroying Hamas and freeing the hostages are not mutually exclusive goals. On the contrary, these missions complement one another. Israel will continue to do what is needed to reach all its just war objectives, destroy Hamas, free our hostages, and ensure that Gaza does not pose a threat to Israel and the civilized world in the future.
This is one of those things you hear, and despite the cruel. Sorry.
Destroying Hamas and freeing the hostages.
Core countries always dogging semi-peripherals no matter what. Shaking my head. Chad has unilaterally decided this man is Israeli John Fetterman. Yeah, except like he has a more reasonable, perhaps more rational approach than John Fetterman on how to secure the hostages. Yeah, remember, State Department confirms one of the world's central kitchen aid workers killed in the Israeli airstrike in Gaza was an American citizen. If you harm an American, we will respond, said Joe Biden. So interesting that they are not. They're responding. They're responding by Wisconsin poll shows 100% support for a permanent ceasefire with young people. The Wisconsin poll also found that just under half of Democrats in the state strongly or even somewhat approve of Biden's handling of the war. 65% of respondents under the age of 29 said they strongly disapprove of it. Only 16% somewhat approved, with 0% strongly approving. 100% of voters below the age of 29 said they strongly or somewhat approve of an immediate and permanent ceasefire. 93.5% saying they strongly do. This is legit why they want to ban TikTok. Yeah, I think that's that definitely plays a role for sure. Have you thought about coming to Israel and seeing what's actually happening in person? Why are Israelis asking me to come to Israel today? What's happening here? No, I have not. I would like to go to the West Bank. I would like to go to Gaza. And I would go to Israel as a part of that as well. But like, I'm not fucking going to Israel on its own. And I also feel like I would get murked if I did that. I can't go to any of those places right now because I feel like I would get murked regardless. You would get super assassinated in Israel, not just regular assassinated. What? No one in Israel knows about you? It's not about the broader Israeli population knowing about me. It's about one guy. There's also the other side of this, which is that I am a you know, I am a Turkish citizen with the name Hassan. It's like, you know, it is one of those places that, you know, is not very hospitable to guys with my background. I don't know what I would like. I have people that I know and people that I appreciate that live in Israel, Israeli citizens, you know. It's just that I don't know what would change about my opinion. The people in chat that are oblivious to the threat posed by the IDF and Israeli government right after the story that murdering European and North American workers is really something. Well, they were in Gaza. You reach Ben Gurion Airport, the Mossad will make your life miserable. They'll keep you waiting for hours without letting you in, and if they do let you through, they'll make you late for your exit flight. As far as talking to people that have gone, that have visited like the West Bank and whatnot, I mean, the consistent thing that you hear is the mistreatment of those who are not Jewish in the West Bank as well, including like Black Americans. You know what I mean? Wait, updated stuff here. What? Few follow-up points. The stuff in my thread is not the official position of the Israeli government and army. The official position per Benjamin Netanyahu is shit happens, war is hell. This thread is a military source speaking unauthorized to Haaretz 2. And that story is such BS, falls apart so readily on its own terms. I'm going to guess it's not top brass cover story either. It's more likely what Israelis call kastach, acronym for covering your own ass, cooked up directly by drone operators and their immediate commanders. Let's revisit. We saw a truck go into the WKC warehouse and we thought we saw someone on it who might have been armed. So we decided to kill him. But by the time we got around to it, other cars left the warehouse. So we hit one of those instead, and then another, and then another. So even if they're not lying, the question is, you definitely saw a weapon? No, dude. Was he a high value intel driven target or just someone who looks sort of armed? Maybe the latter. Were there any soldiers in the vicinity threatened by the presence of this maybe gunmen? Yeah. But you had a visual on your target? No. But you had a visual on the truck he rode? No. You had an unconfirmed visual of someone armed later, so you knowingly bombed other cars nearby. Add this to the fact that WKC was painstakingly coordinating and clearing their convoy's movements with the IDF, which, by the way, of course, they have to do that because of what just happened. They knew was a very realistic possibility if they don't do that. You know what I mean? 2 really fell off over H2K on Dere. 22K Andy fell off. How was this guy a Ugopnik fan? But saying this, like, what the fuck? It was weird. 4-month subscriber. Anyway, where were we? Add to that in the war room where the decision strike was supposedly made. Sounds fancy, but with the van and screens, really is the war room in charge of securing that exact route. So all the units on the field that day were expecting the convoy. And finally, added to the IDF has been flaunting its close collaboration with WKC or its own propaganda purposes. Specifically, look, aid is getting to the strip. And also, look, we don't need UNRWA. You get one of the least plausible storylines in the entire war, frankly. So what happened? Normally, I go with a cock-up over conspiracy. And frankly, the story of IDF deliberately luring WCK into Gaza only to bomb it as an example to other aid orgs doesn't stack up. Much simpler to not let them in. But cock-up doesn't make sense either. If the war room securing the route is the war room in charge of the drone strike, there isn't much wiggle room for miscommunication, especially considering the time factor, the visuals, the fact that WCK have been operating in the area for weeks. So what's the third option? If I had to speculate, I'd say it's a unit or a cluster of units who've gone rogue. Not rogue in an open insurrection kind of way, just rogue as in, sorry, sir, what? Don't copy. They killed the aid workers either for shits and giggles or because, like many Israelis, they believe it doesn't make sense to feed the people you're fighting if you want to win the war. Yeah. I think that this is the most plausible explanation. And by the way, they most likely will not get punished too. I mean, they might, some might, maybe a fucking light, light wrist tap because they don't give a shit.
Damn, this guy's good.